Hello everyone, today's topic for discussion is disorders of aromatic amino acid metabolism, especially tyrosine metabolism. We have already got finished with the metabolism of tyrosine and what are the biologically important compounds synthesized from tyrosine, etc. So, this was a figure or pathway which showing the metabolism of phenylalanine. Ultimately, it was catabolized into products like fumarate and acetoacetate. So, while seeing this pathway, you can understand the enzyme which involves in the metabolism of the production of tyrosine and the catabolism of tyrosine. If there is any deficiency of these enzyme which leads to inborn errors of metabolism which associated with the protein metabolism or tyrosine metabolism. So, for example, phenylketonuria which is due to deficiency of phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme. Similarly, alkaptonuria, which is due to deficiency of enzyme homogeneous oxidase enzyme. And you can see that various tyrosinemias like tyrosinemia type 1, type 2, neonatal tyrosinemia, etc. So all these are like depends on the deficiency of one or different enzyme which associated with the catabolism of tyrosine metabolism. So let us focus on the first type, that is phenylketonuria. Phenylketonuria is one of the important inborn error of metabolism associated with the protein metabolism. The enzyme deficiency here it is phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme. In this disease, either genetic mutation of enzyme, that is phenylalanine hydroxylase, where the enzyme is not synthesized, or a non-functional enzyme is synthesized. The mode of inheritance for phenylketonuria is autosomal recessive disease, and incidence is 1 in 10,000 and in 1 in 25,000 in India. This 1 in 10,000 is rest of the countries other than India, and basically it is geographical variation can leads to the incidence different in different countries. In India, it is comparatively less than that of the other countries. So don't forget, the deficiency leads to a special disease. The deficiency of phenylalanine hydroxylase leads to a special disease known as phenylketonuria. Now the types of phenylketonuria: phenylalanine hydroxylase deficiency, that is type 1 phenylketonuria, which is known as a classical phenylketonuria. And the other types, there are around 5 types of phenylketonuria has been discovered. The second and third is due to deficiency of dihydrobiopterin reductase enzyme. If you remember, this enzyme is involved in the resynthesis of tetrahydrobiopterin into reaction which leads to the conversion of phenylalanine to tyrosine. And type 4 and type 5 is due to deficiency of or defective biosynthesis of dihydrobiopterin coenzyme. So these are the types of phenylketonuria: classical, then type 2, type 3, type 4, type 5 due to deficiency of dihydrobiopterin reductase and dihydrobiopterin biosynthesis. So this is a reaction which shows the conversion of phenylalanine to tyrosine, which done with the phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme with the help of the coenzyme tetrahydrobiopterin, then incorporation of molecular oxygen, etc. And it needs dihydrobiopterin reductase enzyme for the resynthesis of tetrahydrobiopterin, if you remember this reaction. And this is very important because phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme deficiency can lead to accumulation of phenylalanine, and dihydrobiopterin reductase enzyme deficiency can lead to type 2 and type 3 types of phenylketonuria, and the synthesis of dihydrobiopterin itself leads to type 4 and type 5 phenylketonuria. Now, what are the biochemical abnormalities associated with the phenylketonuria? Naturally, when there is deficiency of phenylalanine hydroxylase, there will be accumulation of phenylalanine. The level in blood will be increased. And because of the deficiency of tyrosine, alternative pathways will be open, where there will be definitely the deficiency of tyrosine, because the enzyme which helps for the conversion of phenyl into tyrosine is absent here. So there will be deficiency of tyrosine, and the accumulated phenylalanine can enter into alternative pathways. The accumulated phenylalanine can be converted into the keto derivatives of phenylalanine, such as phenylpyruvate, phenylactate, and phenylacetate. And these keto derivative of phenylalanine can be excreted through the urine with the patients with the phenylketonuria. That is why the name of this disease is given as phenylketonuria. Okay, don't write it as the excretion of ketone bodies in urine. It is due to excretion of keto derivatives of phenylalanine in urine with the patient with phenylketonuria. That is why the disease is known as phenylketonuria. This pathway which shows alternate pathways in phenylketonuria. I told there will be accumulation of phenylalanine. So initially which can undergoing transamination to form phenylpyruvate. So transamination, we know that the exchange of amino group with a keto acid. So and phenylalanine gives its amino group to alpha keto glutarate, and synthesis of new amino acid as glutamic acid and phenylpyruvate. And this phenylpyruvate, either it can undergoing reduction to form phenyl lactate, or it can undergoing oxidative decarboxylation to form phenyl acetate. So these phenylpyruvate, phenylactate, and phenyl acetate can be excreted through the urine, or else sometimes the phenyl acetate which will be conjugated with glutamine, another amino acid, and to form phenyl acetyl glutamine. In this figure it is not showing, sorry, it's my mistake. So this product was phenyl acetyl glutamine, the conjugated product of phenyl acetate with the glutamine. This also can be excreted through the urine. Now the classical symptoms or clinical symptoms associated with the phenylketonuria. There will be severe mental retardation in patient with PKU. Usually the IQ usually between 25 and 50. The reason for the mental retardation in phenylketonuria is that phenylalanine itself and the metabolites of phenylalanine, that is keto derivatives, that can be transferred from mother to fetus and impair the fetal brain development. So if a patient having phenylketonuria and she is conceived, so the complication is due to the accumulation of phenylalanine and its metabolites that transfer from the mother to fetus and causing the impairment of fetal brain development. So that can lead to mental retardation. Usually the patient will be normal at birth, but slowly the child may show the symptoms of PKU. So child may be having delay in developmental milestones, and microcephaly, another classical feature of phenylketonuria, that is small head, microcephaly. Then progressive impairment of cerebral function, hyperactivity, agitation, tremor, seizures, etc. So all these can be due to the phenylalanine. Accumulated phenylalanine can interfere with the neurotransmitter synthesis. In addition to that, you can remember here tyrosine is required for the synthesis of catecholamines like dopamine, then dopa, etc. So that also may be the reason for the interference of the neurotransmitter synthesis. So these are the clinical symptoms. In addition to this, a specific mousy or musty odor of skin, hair and urine, also the classical feature of phenylketonuria. This is due to accumulation of phenyl acetate accumulation. Remember, phenyl acetate accumulation is a reason for the mousy or musty odor of skin and hair in patient with phenylketonuria. And obviously there will be hypopigmentation. This is due to defective melanin synthesis, because tyrosine is not synthesized here. So because of that, the special products like melanin is not synthesized from tyrosine. And this can be even due to excessive phenylalanine, which inhibits tyrosinase enzyme deficiency. And sometimes eczema also occurs. Okay, so these are the classical symptoms of phenylketonuria, pointing out that severe mental retardation, mousy or musty odor. Sometimes a clinical question may be asking associated with the tyrosine metabolism chapter. In that they can give the clinical symptom by giving the presentation of the phenylketonuria. So don't forget about the symptoms of phenylketonuria. Now diagnosis. Diagnosis for PKU is mainly done with three tests like first one ferric chloride test. It is a simple biochemical test. Here we are treating the patient urine sample with a drop of ferric chloride. A transient blue-green color receives means it shows the presence of phenylalanine or keto derivatives of phenylalanine in patient with PKU, that is specifically the phenyl ketones largely will excreted in patient with PKU nearly 500 to 3000 milligram per day. So the keto derivatives of phenylalanine will react with the ferric chloride and gives a transient blue-green color. So this is the first test. Remember, it is ferric chloride test. Second test is actually a microbiological test which is known as Guthrie bacterial inhibition test. This is invented by the scientist Robert Guthrie. That is why the name is given as Guthrie bacterial inhibition test, which is a rapid screening test. Here in this test, a specific bacteria, Bacillus subtilis bacteria, will be cultured in a petri dish which containing the culture medium, specifically added patient sample. So this bacteria, Bacillus subtilis, which require phenylalanine as a growth factor. So bacterial growth occurs usually when the patient blood is added. In phenylketonuria patient, the phenylalanine level will be very much high. So the patient blood will be added to the culture media and allows the growth of Bacillus subtilis. So the bacterial growth is proportional to the phenylalanine content in patient blood. So this is known as Guthrie bacterial inhibition test. Now the third test is we can estimate the level of phenylalanine in blood. Normally it is nearly 1 milligram per deciliter. In phenylketonuria the level will be highly increased, that is greater than 20 milligram per deciliter. So we can estimate the level of phenylalanine in blood. And the last one, neonatal screening. Specific DNA probes can be used to diagnose the enzyme defect and identify the defect in utero itself. That explains the neonatal screening. So remember, there are 4 tests to diagnose the phenylketonuria: ferric chloride test, Guthrie's bacterial inhibition test. We can estimate the level of phenylalanine in blood and neonatal screening. Now the treatment for PKU is obviously early detection is mandatory. About 5 units IQ can be lost for each 10-week delay in starting the treatment. And diet restriction is needed. Patient should take low phenylalanine content diet. A specific diet based on the tapioca. Tapioca, a food item having less phenylalanine. This specific diet can be used for the first decade of life. And next diet can be supply oral tetrahydrobiopterin, because in some varieties of phenylketonuria this also will be deficient. And finally gene therapy, which is under study. So main point, diet restriction with a low phenylalanine diet and early detection is mandatory. And in pregnancy, 2 months prior to conception throughout the gestation, this specific diet is mandatory. So actually the phenylketonuria, if it is early diagnosed, the patient can have a normal life sometimes, and it is a female child, if she is growing and sometimes after marriage pregnancy occurs, this specific patient has to be very much careful that should take a specific diet throughout the pregnancy, specifically 2 months prior to the conception, because the maternal hyperphenylalaninemia can lead to microcephaly, congenital heart disease, mental retardation and growth retardation. Now next is alkaptonuria. Alkaptonuria is actually a Greek word where the meaning is to suck up oxygen greatly in alkali. So it is a second inborn error of metabolism associated with the tyrosine metabolism. Here the enzyme deficiency is homogenesic acid oxidase enzyme. One of the enzyme involved in the metabolism of tyrosine. This alkaptonuria is known as Garrett's tetrad. Garrett's is a scientist who have coined the term inborn errors of metabolism. So he has invented the diseases like cystinuria, albinism, pentosuria and alkaptonuria. So easy to remember. You can use this mnemonym kappa: cystinuria, albinism, pentosuria and alkaptonuria. This is also an autosomal recessive condition. Incidence 1 in 250,000 birth. So incidence is very much low compared to phenylketonuria. Here the deficiency is homogenesic acid oxidase enzyme. The patient can have a normal life usually. It is a mild condition, non-fatal disease. Here, due to defect in the homogenesic acid oxidase enzyme, the excretion of homogenesic acid occurs in urine. There will be accumulation of homogenesic acid. The conversion of homogenesic acid to malleable acid to acetate does not occur. That is actually happening. So the accumulation of homogenesic acid occurs, which will be excreted to the urine. This homogenesic acid can undergoing oxidation to form benzoquinone acetate, which undergoing polymerization to form a specific black colored alkaptone bodies. These can bind to the connective tissues inside the body. If it occurs, the alkaptone bodies can bind to the connective tissues and can have a specific type of symptoms known as ochronosis. So initial symptom, blackening of urine on stanting. If you are keeping the urine for a long time, blackening occurs from the top layer. And later symptoms I told it is ochronosis, the deposition of alkaptone bodies in the connective tissue. So usually these alkaptone bodies will be accumulated in intervertebral disc, cartilages of nose, pinnae of ear. So this is known as ochronosis. No specific treatment is required with alkaptonuria. Low protein intake with less phenylalanine is suggested. So remember, alkaptonuria due to homogenesic acid oxidase deficiency, specific symptom ochronosis and blackening of urine. So these are the symptoms. The deposition of alkaptone bodies giving a black coloration in the specific region, intervertebral disc, pinnae of the ear, then sclera, etc. Diagnosis of alkaptonuria, you can see, collect the urine sample in a test tube and keep it in for a long time. So after 2 hours, the urine is entirely black. The blackening occurs from the top of the layer, that is because of the oxidation of homogenesic acid. Secondly, ferric chloride test. It is positive shown, the specific color is not given, remember, but it is not a specific test because it can be even utilized for the other inborn error of metabolism also. Benedict test will be positive because the homogenesic acid which excreted through the urine is strongly reducing in nature. Another inborn error of metabolism associated are hypertyrosinemias. Type 1 hepatorenal, type 2 oculocutaneous and type 3 neonatal tyrosinemia. So tyrosinemias, hypertyrosinemia is classified into mainly 3: type 1, type 2, type 3, hepatorenal, oculocutaneous and neonatal tyrosinemia. The first one, hepatorenal tyrosinemia. It is also known as thyrosinosis. Here the deficiency is fumarate acetoacetate hydrolase enzyme, which is responsible for the conversion of fumarate acetoacetate to fumarate and acetoacetate. In hepatorenal tyrosinemia, symptoms seen by 6th month of life, and it is a severe fatal condition. Death can occur because the accumulated intermediates, specifically the fumarate acetoacetate, can cause the liver failure and other symptoms like hypoglycemia, and the patient will be severely mental retarded. Because of the liver failure, patient may die. And in hepatorenal tyrosinemia, the patient have a specific smell, that is cabbage-like odor, due to accumulation of fumarate acetoacetate. Second one, oculocutaneous tyrosinemia. This is also known as Richner-Hanhart syndrome. Deficiency is tyrosine transaminase enzyme, which leads to the conversion of tyrosine to para-hydroxyphenyl pyruvate. Symptoms: severe mental retardation. Oculocutaneous, as the name suggests, symptoms mainly affects the eyes and cutaneous tissue. So keratosis of palmar surface, painful corneal lesions, and photophobia. There will be increased excretion of tyrosine and tyramine in urine. So remember, oculocutaneous tyrosinemia is due to deficiency of tyrosine transaminase enzyme known as Richner-Hanhart syndrome. Now, the next one, neonatal tyrosinemia, enzyme deficiency, para-hydroxyphenyl pyruvate hydroxylase N enzyme. Excretion of tyrosine, PHPP, hydroxyphenyl lactic acid, hydroxyphenyl acetic acid. All these excreted through the urine. Mainly affects the neonates, known as neonatal tyrosinemia. So this is the overall picture of phenylalanine and tyrosine metabolism. We have learned the synthesis of tyrosine from phenylalanine, catabolism of phenylalanine. We have learned the specific biologically important compounds synthesized from tyrosine, such as catecholamines, thyroid hormones, melanin, tyramine, etc. And we have even exploited with the disorders associated like phenylketonuria, alkaptonuria, albinism. Albinism we have studied along with the melanin production. Then Parkinson's disease due to deficiency of dopamine. We have seen it with the association with the catecholamine production and various tyrosinemias. So, university questions associated with these topics. Usually it can come as an essay. In previous pattern, 10 marks question had been come associated with explain the metabolism of phenylalanine, add a note on special products synthesized from tyrosine and disorders associated with. Everything together a 10 mark question. Sometimes the disease alone as phenylketonuria, alkaptonuria, albinism. Sometimes a short note on special products synthesized from tyrosine. All these are the questions from the tyrosine metabolism. So you can understand the importance. Then in last year in CBME model question paper, one question has been asked. A child aged 4 months was brought to the pediatric OPD by her mother, who had noticed the diapers of the child were turning black on exposure to air. Not the point. Patient diaper turned black in color. So you should get the answer now. What is the diagnosis? I am not telling the answer. Similarly, phenylketonuria clinical symptoms has been asked and can go ahead with the same question, or albinism could be asked here and can go ahead with the same question. So the subdivisions were name the aromatic amino acids. You know the aromatic amino acid, phenylalanine, tyrosine and tryptophan also. Discuss the metabolism of involved amino acid. Here the metabolism involved, you can understand that the homogenesic acid oxidase is deficient and the production is from the tyrosine. So you should explain the tyrosine catabolism. Give the probable diagnosis. What is the diagnosis here? turning blind, that is alkaptonuria. Then write the clinical manifestations and laboratory tests in the above condition. So you should write about the alkaptonuria, its symptoms, laboratory test, etc. Name any one special compounds formed from this amino acid and its formation. So you should give the pathway leading to the synthesis of special compound synthesized from this amino acid. Okay, so go through with the clinical cases. That's it. Thank you. Thank you so much.